Where the hell are the school buses? I shouted, shoving past parents trying to calm their kids. My kid was supposed to be on that trip 30 minutes ago. My daughter Tessa's hands trembled as she stared at the bus that wasn't moving. Her lips quivered. She'd been waiting for this museum trip for an entire year. The space exhibit at the Science Museum, the one she had circled on her calendar in bright orange for months. Space wasn't just a hobby for her. It was her lifeline, her hyperfixation. Her dad had worked for NASA before he died 2 years ago, and he'd promised they'd see a rocket launch together. This trip was the closest she'd ever get to being near the stars he loved. Mom, she said, voice cracking. I've been waiting all year. I can't just miss it. Please. Half the buses weren't there. The few that had arrived were packed only with kids whose parents could pay for the premium ride. Budget ran out, one teacher muttered, barely looking up from her phone. What do you mean budget ran out? I demanded. It's October. The school year just started. Other parents murmured, fists tight around phones. Some kids were crying, shivering in the cold, but Tessa stood frozen, gripping my hand so tightly her knuckles were white. We were promised this, she whispered, voice trembling, eyes darting between the empty buses and the arriving luxury SUVs. Her autism made every small detail overwhelming. My anger flared, because this wasn't just a delay. This was her one chance to see the exhibit she had been obsessed with all year. The exhibit that tied directly to her dad's work at NASA before he died. The trip she'd built every hope for her science application around. The trip that could feel like reaching toward him again. I moved toward the school office. The secretary answered, voice tight and rehearsed. We're aware of the situation. Aware? I barked. Half the buses are missing, the kids are freezing, and some parents are ready to call the police. She stammered. It's a budget issue. I slammed my phone against my palm. This was absurd. We waited, breath fogging in the air, hearts hammering. Then we saw them. Chaperones in sleek black SUVs rolling up to the curb, unloading bags, laughing, flashing VIP museum passes, luxury rides. Our kids froze, staring, voices barely above whispers. Mia tugging at Tessa's sleeve. That's the museum. They're going. Phones came out. Parents filmed everything. The chaperones waved us off with smirks. Administrative passes, one muttered. Educational protocol, said another. Miscommunication, tried the lead chaperone. Miscommunication? Our kids are standing here freezing, missing the trip, and you're smiling in SUVs? My voice shook with rage. By mid-morning, the tension reached a breaking point. Students collapsed from the cold. Tessa refused to let go of my hand. Her small fist sponged, breath shaky. I want to go, she said. Every second, our outrage grew. The principal was nowhere. Teachers shrugged or scolded us for filming. I posted the first side-by-side photo. Our kids on the curb, chaperones stepping out of SUVs. Within minutes, it blew up online. Other parents joined, capturing every humiliating moment. Calls to the principal and district office went unanswered. Phones rang, but no one picked up. Tessa's lips quivered, tears forming, her hyper-focus on space and her dad's memory clashing with the injustice before her. I stormed toward the museum, phone recording, parent coalition at my heels. The clerk looked confused. Who bought these tickets? I demanded. The clerk hesitated, then handed over receipts. My jaw dropped. Luxury rides, VIP tickets, and the exact total the school had claimed ran out of. I turned to confront the chaperones. Explain this. Your kids are freezing outside while you're checking in here? One of them, Claire Benson, froze, lips pressed tight. It's administrative costs, she stammered. Administrative costs don't cover VIP tickets, cars, and private tours, I shouted. Tessa tugged at my sleeve, trembling. I dropped down to her level. I know, baby. I know. Other parents crowded the counter, demanding to see receipts, bank statements, any evidence of budget shortages. One chaperone tried to pull out her phone to call the principal, but the parents blocked her. The tension snapped. I grabbed the receipt and pointed at every detail. SUV rentals, museum passes, meal costs for adults only. Every dime we were told ran out went here, not for our kids. The museum manager stepped in, looking alarmed. I had no idea these were school funds, she said. The tickets were purchased by a third-party account named Premium Educational Experiences LLC. My blood boiled. That was the same name the school had cited as vendor. It was all fake. I demanded the superintendent come down. He arrived, face pale, beads of sweat forming at his hairline. There was a budget discrepancy, he stammered. Some funds went to this account. Every parent shouted over him. Claire Benson's eyes darted nervously to the exit. I advanced, holding receipts high. You took the money that was supposed to feed these kids education. You lied. You stole from them. The chaperones tried to defend themselves. Miscommunication, but no one was listening. I read the receipts aloud. Exact amounts missing from the trip budget, transferred into personal accounts. Luxury vacations, expensive cars. Every lie collapsed under the weight of the evidence. The museum trip was canceled. A week later, the school had a new faculty list.